What is going on, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global here, back with another video, and in this one, we're going to be talking about the New England Patriots and how they are interested in signing pending free agent wide receiver Marvin Jones this offseason. When March comes around, the new league year starts, free agency begins, and they've actually been interested in him for a while. Before we do hop into that, I do want to let you guys know to go ahead, click the link in the description below, also pinned in the first comment in the comment section below, to go ahead and bet on who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. Is it going to be the Kansas City Chiefs? Is it going to be Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Go ahead, it's free, vote, and you could potentially be winning a PS5. This is completely free, y'all. All you have to do, click the link, you vote, and you could potentially be winning a free PS5. I mean, what do you have to lose? Go ahead, check it out, click that link, guys. But this is now the third video that I am making about Marvin Jones. I had somebody that I was talking to that has his ins within the Patriots and whatnot, and he was basically telling me how he's hearing the Patriots were interested in trading him a few weeks before the trade deadline had finally concluded. So I made a video on that. And then the week of the trade deadline, news actually officially came out that the Patriots were interested in trading for Marvin Jones. Of course, though, nothing ended up happening, which I'm not too upset about. I mean, look, if the Patriots did trade for Marvin Jones, they would have had to give up fair compensation. I would probably say a third to fourth round pick. And he was in his final year of his contract. You know, if the Patriots really wanted him, they could have signed him to a longer-term deal, a deal that they can negotiate themselves with him just in the offseason. You know, they would have only had him for one season. And I personally would not be opposed to this signing. Now, is this signing going to be the end-all, be-all? No. Is this going to be the move that makes the difference to the New England Patriots offense? No. Is Marvin Jones a #1 receiver? No. But this is your classic Bill Belichick move. A 30-year-old proven wide receiver veteran. I know a lot of people want Belichick to go younger. I think the Patriots do have some younger receivers. I think Belichick will go younger with some other guys. I'm okay with having, you know, a 30-year-old veteran that we know what we're getting out of him. And he's finished with at least 750 receiving yards in 4 of his last 5 seasons in the NFL. The last time he failed to do so was in 2018, in which he missed 7 games. So, understandable. Like I said, he isn't going to come in, be the end-all, be-all, and be that #1 wide receiver that's going to take that attention away from the Patriots' other receivers, tight ends, running backs, and really open up this Patriots offense. But he is 100% a #2 guy. You know, although he's not #1, I'm comfortable with definitely making him a #2 guy with Detroit. He's done that, and he's been very effective at doing so. And there is a lot of good receivers in this open market. You know, I wouldn't even say he's top 5 on the open market for wide receivers. And because, you know, the cap situation is really going to be down this year in the NFL, a lot of teams are behind the cap, in negative cap actually, because of the whole pandemic and everything going on. The Patriots could potentially get Marvin Jones on a pretty nice deal. You know, how many years is that going to be? I would like to see Belichick sign him to at least a 2-year deal. I think he could probably make annually more than $5 million, but I wouldn't pay him more than $10 million. I've heard people say that he could be making anywhere up between $7 to $10 million per year. I don't think he's worth $10+ million as a #2 guy. But we'll just have to see how things, of course, do decide to pan out. Of course, Belichick having this interest for a while definitely means that Marvin Jones is going to be on the Patriots' radar and will be a guy that you definitely want to watch. But at the same time, Belichick really doesn't let his emotions get in the way too often. And if he says, hey, you're getting a bigger contract somewhere else, I'm not going to pay you that, then that's what's going to happen. He's a guy that's always put up pretty dang respectable numbers throughout his career. He's played with 2 different franchises. He played with the Cincinnati Bengals, which is where he actually started his career from 2012 up until 2015, and then was with the Detroit Lions from 2016 to 2020. He only has 1 season where he's put up 1,000+ yards, and that was in 2017 when he put up 1,101 yards his second year with Detroit. Played a full season, was targeted 107 times, which was his second career highest. 2020 was his first career highest, and caught 61 passes with 9 touchdowns. Like I've mentioned, though, he's always put up very respectable numbers. His second year in the NFL, 2013, 712 yards. 2015, 816. 2016, 930. 2018, when he appeared in just those 9 games, 508. 2019, 779. 2020, he was able to put up 978 yards. He was 22 yards away from having another 1,000-yard season. Jones was targeted 115 times in 2020 with 76 receptions, again with that 978-yard mark, averaging 12.9 yards per reception and 9 touchdowns. This guy is a red zone threat. The past 2 seasons, he's recorded 9 touchdowns on the season. His longest catch also went for 52 yards and was averaging 12.9 yards per reception. Also, that year 2017, when he had that 1,000-yard season, he was averaging 18 yards per reception. And the thing with Marvin Jones is that his speed is nothing crazy, especially now that he's in his 30s. Originally, when he was entering the league, was doing his NFL Combine, his 40-yard dash was only a 4.46. So he's not a Brandon Cooks, he's not a Tyreek Hill. The reason that he is a downfield threat and he's averaging at least 12 yards per reception doesn't come to his speed, but it comes to his technique. It comes to his footwork, his separation, and ultimately his ability to get downfield quick and just make that separation. Sitting at 6'2", he is a receiver that the Patriots could place anywhere that they wanted. If they wanted a big body in the middle of the field, they could do so, but he's also a guy that they could play on the outside of the field, something that they desperately need. I think the Patriots could definitely afford to have a productive receiver that they can put on the outside, brings versatility, and brings that height, because they really just don't have that. I also, again, like the veteran presence that he would bring to the locker room. The Patriots really need that right now, especially if they're trying to build up a younger wide receiver core with Gunnar Olszewski, with Jacoby Myers, potentially N'Keal Harry. And no matter who the quarterback of the New England Patriots is next season, it's going to be super beneficial to have a guy on the field that's a veteran. He knows the defense, he knows the NFL, and he just by now knows what he's doing in the NFL. And you don't have these younger guys who are still learning and going to be making these young player mistakes. Especially when there's question marks on what in God's name is going to happen with Julian Edelman. Again, not a number 1 guy, but a very comfortable number 2 guy. It would make me feel comfortable coming into a situation where Marvin Jones / Julian Edelman, depending on what happens with him, are like your number 2 guys. You have Jacoby Myers as like your number 3, number 4 guy. And then the Patriots go out and they still try to find that number 1 wide receiver. I think that makes the world of difference. And then you start putting the wide receivers you currently have on your depth chart in the proper places where they should be. Now, guys, real quick, I do want to talk about my sponsors here over at betonline.ag. Of course, my boys, the Super Bowl is finally here, and you can get in with all of that action only over at BetOnline. Tampa Bay is the first team in history to play for the title on their home field and is currently a 3.5-point underdog. Yeah, Tom Brady is an underdog. They're going against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are looking for back-to-back titles for the first time in almost 2 decades. It is Tom Brady, the GOAT, against Patrick Mahomes, who's considered the next in line. Guys, this game is going to be crazy, and BetOnline has hundreds of props on the game, including game MVP, margin of victory, and even the length of the national anthem. I mean, they have the most fun ways to bet than any other place that I've ever seen, guys. We're talking about BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Don't sit on the sideline anymore. Get in with the action, and do not forget to use that promo code CLNS50 for your first welcome bonus on that first deposit. But that's going to be it for today's video. What are your guys' thoughts on Marvin Jones? Do you want the Patriots to target him? Do you not want the Patriots to target him? Let me know in the comment section below. Like I said, me personally, I'm totally cool with Marvin Jones. I'd be super interested in having Marvin Jones on the team as a number 2 guy. As long as Belichick doesn't think that he is the end-all, be-all, I'm okay with it. And as long as it's not costing the Patriots $10+ million. $10 million is definitely the highest I would go for somebody like Marvin Jones. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me and the channel out. And subscribe to the channel for all of your New England Patriots news. Like always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.